Hello! In this video, I'll be teaching you about how to pull stuff into the outside of plot as well as back in. As you can see, I got a little Technoblade statue here. I've built 4 of them. 3 took me 7 hours, 1 took me 4. And I'll be teaching you a little bit about Protools, but primarily data values to build stuff outside faster. Guess what's the real here? I would much rather spend 3 hours over 48 hours. Just saying. And so, yeah. And I will just be going over my overall experience and my tips and advice for building stuff outside. So in my last video, I showcased my Technoblade pet as well as my baby pink sheep pet here. And I also showcased 3 Technoblade statues as well. I really just want to have people build more things outside of the plot, especially statues. That's basically why I'm making this video in the first place here. There are 2 main principles to pulling stuff to the outside apply here. So the first one, pistons will only push or pull 12 blocks. If you do more than that, it will not work. If you have 13 slime blocks to the outside of the plot, the only thing you can do is have a duplicate of that house beforehand, or theme change. Now as for the second one, don't ever push anything. Don't ever push anything out. Like, it's not gonna work. Instead, you're going to pull stuff to the desired direction. So, you pull the inside like that. And then, if you want to do this, have the slime block right next to the outside of the plot, and then just pull it out like this. And then, if I look here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 blocks out. Give me a moment. Now if I want to go 10 blocks out instead, as you can see it doesn't work here, then I have to get that piston to the inside, and then after that I can do a little bud powering, basically. All you need to know here is that you just break the bottom rest of the block and then the top. If you want to learn more about that, learn from like Melodrummo or Mango. I don't really know much about redstone in general. Just gonna pull it out. And then if I count again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When you edit an item in the lore, you're going to type it in this format, a capitals, a space, and a colon placement. All of that matters. It has to be exactly like this. Then whatever number you want. See? Now they're basically all in pairs. You got 8, 9, like that. Then you have 10 and 11, and then you got 12 and 13. You're just going to use them like in pairs in any direction, like that one right there. As you can see, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 8 or 9. So in this recording, I'll be talking about size and patterns, complexity of skin and time, and my old free build you saw yesterday. So when it comes to like piston placements for like patterns, pay attention to the fact that I'm placing pistons 7 times one way but then 3 times the other. That's something you have to memorize and get into your head when building things fast. But what I mean by sides, on the other hand, is basically be aware of what people can see on the surface. Like when it comes to like a skin, for example, that would be like the front, the back, and the sides of it. Sometimes the bottom of some skins, but primarily the first 3 I mentioned. When you work with that, you have to try to, if you're trying to build a skin and you don't have like the pixels memorized, you're trying to memorize like a chunk, like a group of pixels as fast as you can, pretty much. Otherwise it will take you forever. Now some skins are simple, might not take you very long, maybe like 2 hours, or maybe 1 hour and a half if it's like the same block over and over, the same color. But if it's something like the skin you saw yesterday I built, that's gonna take you around 4 to 7 hours. Just something to think about. And then when it comes to my free build, on the other hand, I don't recommend building a statue in a situation where people can build and just grief it. You see, I actually built that statue twice, because I actually resetted the theme and then built it again. And that also took 7 hours. So depending on the context, that's just something you want to think about. And so, yeah, that's all I gotta say. Just enjoy the rest of this clip of me just building this. There's not really much to say here, but what I will say is that you have this little setup here, as you can see, and then you're just gonna get this thing to an entire row like that, and then copy that and then paste across the entire plot, as you can see. Then we're gonna do a command called /replace redstone block air, and that's gonna delete all the redstone blocks, causing the pistons to retract and just shove all that grass down to the outside of the block. And then you're just gonna do this multiple times, like so. Like once I remove all that, I'll just do it again, and then do it again until I only have to go in the other direction. And that's that. You can easily do this in 15 to 30 minutes. Which, to be honest, as opposed to data values in this scenario, is actually a lot better because, I mean, I was about to spend 15 minutes and 6 hours. So, yeah. Enjoy the rest of the satisfying video here. That's all I got to say for you. Well, before I go, I want to mention that you can have 0-sided logs, like logs with no sides, 12 through 15. Oak, spruce, birch, jungle, and outward. Can't do acacia or jungle, sadly. You can have rest of torches on 4. They hate being placed on the ground, but you can place them on only one of the 4 sides of a wall. And then you got wooden doors, 9 through 12, that when placed, when opened by the bottom, will turn the block below to a different data value. And iron doors on 9 are very stubborn iron doors. And then for cake staircases, if you want to make those instead of like by eating them, you can just place them down with data values 1 through 6. Isn't that just so satisfying to look at?